Here with legendary drag racer and engine builder Pat Musi of Pat Musi Racing Engines. Pat, welcome to Edelbrock today.
Thank
you
you
for coming by and talking with us on topics that matter.
Glad to be back. I've been with you guys a long time, and it's always a pleasure to be out here.
We got a series of questions for you, if that's okay.
Okay.
All right. Most of the top engine builders in the sport started out in the driver's seat. Is it an important perspective to have when you build engines for other drivers?
I think so. I think that's one thing that I have a little different than my competitors. I actually professionally raced. I ran pro stock. I drove pro mod, did the pro street little thing, but I've won national events, won championships, won races, and so I know what it takes, and it gives you a perspective. And for my customer base, I know they need what they need when they need it.
Yeah.
So I bring the perspective of the car tuning, where a lot of my competitors are just engine builders. You know, we tune with a laptop on Bluetooth. I can tune Lizzie's car standing here. She could be at that window, and I could flip something and change it on the fly. So
before racing and engine building, what kind of hot rods did you drive back in the day, and when did you get started in competitive drag racing?
Well, I started out, my first car was a 55 Chevy, probably like everybody else, you know, and, but I used to race on the street, unfortunately, lost my license, and I said, well, this isn't working. We need to go to the drag strip. So got introduced in 69, 70, started going to the drag strip and started running B modified, and that's about when bracket racing started, and I couldn't stand it. Sorry, guys. I had to build the engines for those guys, but I'm a heads-up racer my whole life, so. I looked at pro stock in Englishtown, about 72, I'd say, had a junior pro stock. It was called Run Tough Eliminator, and I won every race but one that year. Following season, 74, I went right into pro stock. I just was that heads-up racer. That's all I've ever liked. That's what my daughter likes, thank God. And
yeah, run what you brung and hope you brung enough.
That's it.
Is this when you started developing your mechanical skills, or did that start earlier for you?
It started earlier in the garage. I was always mechanical. I mean, at 14 years old, I was taking mini bikes apart, lawnmowers apart, you know, just, I don't know, I call my mentor, John Hoffman, was an old machinist back in those days and made sure my stuff always ran out in front, you know, and I was kind of his little helper and learned the machine trade. I never went to school. Everybody always asks me that. I weld, machine, can operate anything, the whole deal. I tell my guys sometimes, I warn them, look guys, you could all be replaced by me.
Right. So, I'm not asking you to do it because I can do it myself, right?
But I just did it hands-on, you know, that's how it was, you know, in those days, never went to, I'm not against schools, but there's nothing like on-site training.
Yeah, putting your hands on it and doing it. Yep. Off the top of your head, who are some of the top names you built engines for?
Ricky Smith has probably won the most championships with our stuff in Pro Mod NHRA. And then we have, in the PDRA, we usually have 10 out of the 16 qualified are our engines. Wow. We have a new guy in NHRA, Chad Green, but PDRA I can kind of run down the list. Tommy Franklin, John Camp, John Hall, just, I hope I don't forget anybody, but there's a bunch of them. We've been pretty successful with the Nitrous Problems deal.
What part of your engines hold the secret to making all that power and with durability?
You know, I tell this to everybody all the time, camshaft specs, but you're not going to see that walking through. I could lay the cam out on the counter, probably lay everything out on the motor on the counter, you know. These Pro Mod EFI deals are so tune-up related, and the motor has to be durable. It has to withstand what you put to it. But the tune-up would be off limits. Nobody gets in my laptop. Our maps are locked, and the consumer can, or the drag racer can, move his timers around, move nitrous jets around, but he can't get into the base brains of it. So we protect that, and that's what it's, you know, it's 90% of it is tune-up related. You know, there's a lot goes into that, and a lot of time and a lot of R&D and a lot of broken parts.
How far back does your association with Edelbrock go?
It's about 14 years. I originally came here, it's a funny story, you know, came here to straighten the nitrous program out. So I came out here originally for that. Then he said, let's go to the foundry. We flew out to the foundry, and my eyes are like this big when I saw the foundry.
It's an impressive place.
So we get back, and me and Rick are in his office. He's got a cylinder head that looked pretty good sitting there. I said, why aren't you guys making race heads? And Vic said, well, we don't know what to make, for racing, I mean, I said, I'll tell you what to make, or just make it. And that's how the whole deal kind of started, and it's kind of rolled along here now. And I think we're really up to speed to making some really good parts now. We've always had a good part, but they're kind of the best kept secret,
Right.
But we're going to get the word out. We're going to have engines available, cylinder heads available, manifolds available. And I mean, if you look at our competitors that are selling heads, 80% of them got Edelbrock manifolds on them.
Yeah, that's true.
So our head's as good as the manifold. That's what I'm trying to say. And we have Danny Jessel in our corner helping us with valve train deal, and everything gets kind of put together as a package. And
Well, we hope for great things.
so do we.
How instrumental has your relationship with Edelbrock been over the years?
Really instrumental. I mean, Vic taught me a lot. He was a great guy, He one thing he was big on, don't advertise anything till you have it. Meaning till you get it done and it's validated and it's a good part, then you go out and you sell it. Case in point right here.
Yeah.
Come up with this idea one day just talking about a crate engine, a street engine. And I wanted to jump, okay, yeah, let's advertise. He says, kid, let's just settle down, let's get them done, have inventory, and that's what we did, But,
And it's been a good seller for us to this day, too. So
yeah, Vic was just really a great businessman, I think. Look what he built here. I mean, just, we're following what I think he would love to see, the racing part of it. He always was, he was a racer at heart.
Oh, yeah. Well, he drove everything, I think.
Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah.
You had a good relationship with Vic. Do you have any fun anecdotes or stories to tell about Vic?
I guess my favorite story, I'd been here a couple years, and I was driving at the time, Pro Mod, and I wanted him to come to a race. And Nancy had some relatives in New Hampshire, and we were running in Epping. It was an IH8 Pro Mod race. It was great for me, I was honored to have him there and Nancy there, so. And they had a great time. They get along with my wife, Liz, and there. We wind up winning the race, so I told Vic, I said, now you're stuck, now you got to go to all of them. He kind of laughed, but I had a little blooper. You can't make a mistake in my business, but at the end, they interviewed me at the win. I said, yes, really great. Vic Edelbrock's here for his first drag race. I meant to say Pro Mod race. Well, I got beat up for it. It wasn't Vic's first drag race he's been to, but it was his first Pro Mod race.
Yeah.
So now it gives me a chance to redeem myself, what I was trying to say. But it was just really great to have both of them there, in the winner's circle. And
that's fantastic.
you won't forget those moments,
No. We're proud to be partnered with you and Musi Racing Engines for our new crate engine program. Can you tell our viewers what that is and who it's targeted for?
It's targeted for the street enthusiasts, which is the engine behind us. This 555 runs on pump gas. Put it in any hot rod. It'll fit anything. Our cylinder head fits, headers fit, oil pan fits, unlike our competitors. The Profo 4 is just a great product, self-learning. So this is for the street enthusiast, the hot rodder, the everyday daily driver.
Yeah.
It's just a really, really good, dependable piece with a lot of power, a lot of torque. I mean, but it still has drivability, and that's what they want. And our next target now is going to be the sportsman racer. The guy that races, a lot of them are professional, that bracket race, and we're gonna start with the 632 and then move on up from there. But something in the middle of my $115,000 Pro Mod engines, these will be targeted for those guys. I think I can give them, for the same money my competitor gives them, I can give them the knowledge that goes into those Pro Mod engines, give them a better product, better cylinder head with you guys, better manifold, and help the guy tuning, give him a base tune-up out the door, whether it's EFI, some of them are carbureted, but we want to target those guys. We want to see the sportsman guys benefit from what we've learned, what you guys have done with the cylinder heads, and target that market. And I don't see any reason why we can't get our share of that market. We just got to get them out there. And
yeah, once it's out there racing and winning, then people start paying attention.
That's exactly right.
What are your business goals for the new year?
To step up that sportsman market, and this market. You can only do so many Pro Mod engines, and I just see an opportunity to get some of that market. I've got a customer in there. I won't mention my competition, who done it, but the motor's a mess. Was supposed to have 1,400 horsepower. Well, it's lucky if it's got 1,250.
Right.
And there's so many horror stories. I'm seeing stuff come in that would never go out our door like that.
Yeah.
And so that's why I said there's an opportunity for us to take advantage of that and give them everything we learn on the racetrack, everything you guys learn in R&D. We toured the manufacturing. I mean, come on, guys, we can do it. I mean, just if you're watching this, we can do it. Trust me.
If some guy with deep pockets wants to build a killer street car, can you help him out with that?
Absolutely. We actually built a 903 Pro Mod engine at 10-1, made 1,300 horsepower at 10-1.
Oh my goodness!
That the guy's going to run in drag week. It's not finished yet, but that was so you can go that far.
Right.
But I can do anything in the middle. You just have to rely on me. You can't run camshafts like we run. You're going to break lifters.
Yeah.
You can't run compression ratio because of the fuel, but we can do that. We can do it from this on up.
Yeah.
Anything they want, anything custom they want, we can do it.
We've heard that Lizzie has signed on to compete in more episodes of No Prep Drag Racing. Will building engines for her efforts take away from your day-to-day at the shop?
I'm impressed with the crew here, the social media crew, the R&D crew. Now I can get some of the weight off me. They're building the heads that we want, the intakes we want. I think if we all work together as a team, I could do what I do best, run my mouth. No, I'll just fit it in. I think it's all important. We need to let people know we're serious about what we're doing.
Yeah.
We'll stay at it, and if I get backed up, then I'll figure out what we need to do. I think we have a lot of talented people. You guys have a crew put together here. I have a good crew put together back there. It's a smaller deal, but I think everybody's pulling for the same goals, and that's what it takes.
As a proponent of nitrous oxide injection, how are you competing successfully in the growing field of mostly turbos and superchargers?
I'm glad you asked me that. I just got an award for walking out of an NHRA meeting. Frankly, they get their heads up their butt, and NHRA with the turbos. They're outrunning us now because nitrous is not a forced induction, meaning it's still a normally aspirated engine at the end of the day. You can only get so much in that intake charge depending on displacement of the engine.
Right.
And we're struggling in NHRA because they don't realize the potential of the turbos. They're outrunning us.
Okay.
We can't do anything else to get caught up with that. Thank God for us, Lizzie's going to run the PDRA, which is nitrous only. And if I had a wish list, I'd like to see NHRA have a nitrous only class. We all put our pants on the same way. When you try to mix power adders, you just can't get that parity everybody thinks they're getting. And if the turbos weren't, the shoe was on the other foot, they'd be complaining.
Right, right.
So but that's probably not going to happen in NHRA, but they need to at least give us a chance.
Yeah, because ultimately somebody gets handicapped or something like that.
Yeah. He gets up there in a meeting. I won't say his name, but at PRI, and he says, well, you guys are only 1,500s apart. 1,500s apart? What channel are you on? They'll see. They're going to have an all-turbo show if they're not careful, which will hurt that class. We broke our bones in Pro Mod with nitrous oxide Pro Mod cars. PDRA is on that. They will never allow turbos or blowers in that class. It's called Pro Nitrous. That's what we run, and we all come in with the same stuff, and
go to it.
Go to it.
What are your predictions for drag racing in 2019? Be general or as specific as you want.
My goal is to win. My daughter, she's won a lot of PGA races for as short a time as she's driving. She's come a long way. We went to the Middle East. She made 65 runs there 2 years ago. Came back. She became the driver that I want to be. So now I can stand behind the car and it's like me in the car.
Nice.
It's almost like a robot, know, kind of deal. She's doing a great job, and this year, unfortunately, we transitioned to a brand new car, and anytime you do, we took a little bit of a risk, and we had to fight the new car. Should have maybe went back to the old car, finished the season out, but we stuck with it, and the car wound up setting the mile per hour record at PDRA at 209. She was the first pro nitrous car to go over 200, a girl, and now she's the fastest at 209. So we got big power, you know, and she's been really fast, and the car's good. So my goal now is to test at least twice. We're going the end of this month in Orlando. We'll put some videos up for you guys.
Wonderful.
We'll do 3 days of testing, then go back in February, and then get at it in April, you know, and I want to win. Here's my goal, a championship for that kid.
Oh, yeah.
I think she could do it as a driver, and I think we could do it as a crew chief and an engine builder.
And we're happy to be part of that for you.
And we're happy to have you. You don't know, you know, how much help it means. You know, these cars aren't easy to run, you know, but that's why I say we got a good team together. Everybody pulls for the same thing. Yep. I think we're going to do well this year.
Well, fantastic. Well, there you have it, 15 questions with Pat Musi. Thank you, Pat, for your time today.
You're welcome.